drums. It's Felipe here, one more solo video, sort of. Just following up on yesterday where I did a nice unboxing and I kept some titles for today. They came earlier this week and I like to share with you because it's a very important kind of landmark, at least for me. Very, very important. But please don't forget to like and subscribe. Today we're going to talk about how I came full circle finally with my Tone Poet collection, which is something that I was really eager and looking forward to. First of all, they look nice on the shelf. Second, they are creme de la creme, the pinnacle for me. So I'm not talking about the latest Coltrane release that just came out. I'm talking about two titles that I've been searching from the very early in the collection, very early in the series, which I couldn't get. Simply because they're hard to get, they're not out there, they're awaiting repress. First, what is a Tone Poet? A lot of you are gonna kill me, like, oh my gosh, Tone Poet, everybody says that 200 times. But a lot of people are still kind of confused, still learning, so I'm gonna talk about a little bit of my journey with the Tone Poets. I've always been buying jazz CDs, some records here and there, and of course, like many of you, I started investing heavy in vinyl in 2020. I bought a collection, lots of blue labels, great stuff, some originals, and then randomly I bought a Blue Train 75th, and I think it has to do with that iconic image, the cover. I mean, Blue Train, I think the Rev said it perfect. It's a record that drags you in. You have to listen to it. Just that cover sucks you in. And I bought a 75th anniversary, which, you know, is not the greatest source, but they're great. 75th. That Blue Train still sounds very good. Then, you know, I couldn't go to my store. I started checking more and more online, going Amazon, and then I found a record that I bought because it was reduced price, actually an open box, and I was a lot into Kenny Burrell, so I ordered a record, and immediately, which was this one. A lot of you have it. A lot of you are maybe waiting for a repress, which is 1523, 1500 series. Just by getting it, you notice the package, the thick cover, those beautiful session photos, the premium package, the thick, heavy record that when I first dropped my stylus, I just couldn't hear a noise, and the music flew so beautifully across the room. It was just a revelation. I said, what the heck is that? I didn't even know what a Tone Poet was, the difference in series 80, 75, 1500, 5000, 4000, whatever, you name it. I was still like scratching the surface. I knew nothing about it. But that stuff sounded amazing, and I started reading a little more, getting into the Blue Note groups, which a shout out goes to Blue Note Vinyl Spinners, the first jazz group that I joined on the internet, which is managed and created by the great Bill. Amazing guy. So, and then I started digging more. I went through more online, which is mostly, and then I'm just gonna show some titles that are kind of early in the series, which I think is really cool. A lot of people might have, a lot of people may not have, and like this one, I think this was my second purchase. Tarantino, playing with his brother Tommy, Horace Parlan, George Tucker, O'Hara Wood, Coming Your Way. It's a beautiful recording, and I really dig Tony Tarantino. I think he's really underrated in a sense. He has such a vast career. So, and I like his tone. I like Tarantino, Ike Quebec. I think they're just great. As Sonny Rollins, they're probably among my favorites. And Dexter, of course, right? Another great example, one of my first ones that I actually bought twice. Donald Byrd Chant. I think a lot of people are waiting for this repress, right, Mike? Again, amazing, beautiful photographs. I bought it twice because my first one I dropped, and it got scratched, not like terribly scratched, but they took a very light tick, and I couldn't take it. I sold it for very cheap to my local store. I just didn't want to see it, and as soon as I found one on Amazon, I got it, and this is a great record. Chant, there you go. It's a great one. Another one that I bought very early in the series is this guy here. Also, I think a lot of people have it. Money Jungle. I mean, such an unlikely combination here, right? Ducky Ellington, Charlie Mingus, Max Roach, again. And that's the beauty of the Tone Poets and the Blue Note catalog ownership labels. They not only issue Blue Notes, but they can issue Pacific Jazz, United Artists, some other like subsidiary labels of stuff that I really don't have access to. And that's my great point here about the Tone Poets. So this whole premium package, premium pressing started back in 2007 when Joe Harley, the Tone Poet, this nickname came after Charles Lloyd when they worked together at ECM. So Joe Harley was a producer. He worked for ECM, Audio Quest Records. Yes, Audio Quest had a label in the early 90s and some other ones. And then in 2007 he started Music Matters Jazz with Ron Rambach. So and Music Matters, which is situated in Oxnard, California. So and Ron is there. So MoFi, you're opening a plant in Oxnard, California, go get some advice from Ron. You're gonna learn how to cut a really analog, great, amazing, fantastic record. Anyways, they partnered. They then got of course Kevin Gray on board and Michael Kuskuna as a way of that liaison to Mosaic, so they could get access to this premium photography, the art, the session photography, which was essential. So when they decided to go that route, they went master tape, analog cut, premium tip-on jackets, well-cut vinyl, and finally a nice tip-on jacket on a gatefold showing the session photos. So that was a very successful thing. I mean, nobody ever heard, and Joe Harley even says that's how the tapes sound. That, I mean, when they had access to the tapes and actually do it, that was just fascinating, fantastic. And a few years later, down the road, I think it's 2016 if I'm not mistaken, or 15, somewhere in that range, he was approached by Don Was of Blue Note Records, the then and still president, amazing musician, producer, and a great, like, everything. Thank you. They decided to, he invited Joe to start this series and doing a more high quality audiophile, whatever it means, with Blue Note. And that series was going to be the Tone Poets. And Blue Note at that point, given the relative, I'd say maybe a commercial success of the 75th, but not review it very well because of the digital sourcing. Blue Note started investing heavily on the 80s series, which was more towards the heavy hitters, the heavy titles, the 80s series, like titles like Larry Young, Into Something. But the idea with the Tone Poets was not to follow what Music Matters had already done. Music Matters, as in personal communication from Ron, he always repeats that it's the creme de la creme, the top, the slice of the top, the best thing you can get from Blue Note. That's what Music Matters produce in the best presentation, the best sound you can possibly get. So Blue Note wanted to replicate this, but not using these heavy hitters, going in a different direction. And I think in that sense, having Joe Harley, the Tone Poet, kind of curating this for us and showing us really these hidden gems, these pearls, was just like, it is still. It was supposed to to last for a year, and things just kept going because it's been so successful. He said in an interview that initially people say $35 for a record is ridiculous, nobody's gonna buy it. Same thing probably classic Music Matters, right? And see where they are now. So they're just starting getting more and more sales and just increasing requests. So the series kept going. We're going to 20, we're like in the fourth year pretty much already of the Tone Poets. It's been quite successful, and it's been great because Tone Poets not only get people into jazz because of the sound quality, the presentation quality, but I think mostly because they're showing us a catalog. We all know Blue Train, we all know this and that. However, being able to be curated by someone with his knowledge, his collection, his access to the tapes, right? I mean, what else better can you get? So, and look at those hidden gems here, for example. We go from all sorts of extremes. So, who would ever, I mean, of course, lots of people know, but like the vast majority didn't know before pointed us. Who did know about this guy here? Katanga, one of the best on the series, which is actually not Blue Note, it's a Pacific Jazz. Kudos, and thank you for bringing this hidden gems, this off the beaten path, this really, really deep cuts in the catalog. That's all we need. That's as jazz lovers, jazz researchers, whatever you say. That's all we want. We want to know more. We want to know better and listen to things that are not necessarily known, but they're probably the best, right? So that's a prime example. I think Katanga is a prime example. Okay, and just so you know, just as another tone poet, they have contemporary stuff too. They have released by Cassandra Wilson, fantastic. There's a Pat Metheny record which is amazing too. It's a must-have. And there's another one by Charles Lloyd that came out last year. Okay, and Charles Lloyd is actually the guy that gave the nickname tone poet to Joe Harley. Get it? It's a beautiful, beautiful record. Great contemporary music. I'm gonna show a couple things that recently came to my collection this week. And before everybody starts putting a lot of comments, how much did you pay? I'm not gonna say how much I paid, but it was like way less than what the market is asking. Don't go into much detail here, but it was offered by a friend who has the whole collection. He didn't care much about his records, and in a sense that he would buy them later when they get repressed. And he saw that he learned that I really wanted to complete my collection, that I really liked these recordings, and he kindly offered to me to purchase at a price that's almost original sale price. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And they came with the same jackets that I have. Okay, and I think and these are two records that most of the collectors in the series they want. And let's cut to the first one. I'm a really big fan of Grant Green, and I have his other one of the series, but I didn't have Nigeria. That came in one of the very first batches, if not the first one. I cannot precise. So Nigeria was a 62 session, not released until 1980. And if I'm not mistaken, it was released in 1980 in Blue Note, Japan. So Nigeria has Sonny Clark, Sam Jones, Art Blakey. What else can you ask for? It's from the same lineup, same sessions where Olio came from, and Gooden's Corner, which are really hard to find records. They're also never released originally when recorded, but they're from all these sessions. And okay, we don't proclaim ourselves to be a vinyl channel, so I don't care. It's not a sacrilege. But one of my very first CDs that you can get, also, it has all the sessions. Grant Green, complete quartets with Sonny Clark. Sonny Clark, Sam Jones, Art Blakey, Louis Hayes on the drum, depending on the session, and Grant Green. It's all here. These three records are here. Okay, you can find them. It's a very, very nice CD. It's not part of that RVG collection, but it's great. Everything is here if you want to see it. Okay. All right, and just to say that lots of those CDs, I don't think they have many or any reissues. One of my first CDs, I just want to show you guys. Also, this one is an amazing one. The Illinois Concert by Eric Dolphy. Get this one, it's really good too. Anyway, just to wrap it up. Nigeria is a record that I had on my radar for a long time. I have all the Grant Green blue labels, I have Kudu records, I have Music Matters, but this one was missing. and I did not have the original LT. Yeah, Nigeria was an LT series, LT 1032. Anyways, it was phenomenal. I mean, I already knew the record from the CD, but actually playing the vinyl, reading, it was just fantastic. This is just fantastic. And I'm really thankful for finally today completing my Tom Poet collection. Along with this guy here. That's the object of desire, I think, of 99% of people. You can find this record in many flavors. Not this record, but this type of recording. There were some other examples, some other variations, like this one that came on Craft a few years ago. Right? Chet Baker sings. It's great. It sounds amazing. It's on his Riverside. It's a stereo Riverside. It's a phenomenal pressing by Craft. They did really good job here. I really like it. The cover, artwork, everything is great. It's actually pressed by Craft in one of those, you can see the polyline sleeves. So it's amazing. Chet Baker, Kenny Drew on piano, George Morrow or Sam Jones bass, Philly Joe on drums, recording in 58. It's phenomenal. This is just great. If you don't have it, grab one. I don't think it's very hard to get right now. And then one more. That's another one by Pacific Jazz, actually, not the original label. This one here. Chet Baker plays and sings, which is also great. The gem, the masterpiece, the one that everybody wants and talks about, I was still missing, and I was not willing to pay the secondary market price. And I already knew the potential of those records, how it was. I have some other live recordings of Chet Baker, and I do like his singing, because for me it's very, it sounds a lot like João Gilberto, the way they sing with the chords, and a very soft voice, very inviting. It's very, yeah, it's even hard to explain. It's even hard to explain. So Chet Baker sings, of course, on the iconic War Pacific black label. Came impeccable. After the ultrasonic, all the dust, everything went off, and this sounds, with all respect to the artist, this sounds like miles ahead from those other records that I just showed. It's an amazing late 50s session, awesome. And I think he just feels so loose, so at ease, and all the standards that he's singing here, the way he plays. And that's the question that always lingers. Was Chet Baker a horn player that could sing, or a singer that could play horns? You never know, because his tone, his sound, his voice, everything just complements so well. It's just so smooth, so relaxing, and so captivating at the same time, which I think is just fantastic. I mean, any Chet Baker record, most of them, I have a few others here. I mean, this is the creme de la creme. This is the best for me. I do like the presentation. The sound is amazing. You hear everything very wide, very open. Not the best sounding Tom Poet, of course, but still, it's amazing. It really surprised me. I had never played or listened to this record, and the first time I listened to it was just like an amazing experience. And to me, it was finally a journey that started almost by chance, right? I mean, I didn't know much about Tom Poets, or they were, and I was captivated by the package and the sound, which I think really shows the intention. And I think Joe Harley, all team at Blue Note, Music Matters, Ron, Don, Kevin Gray, I think everybody involved with those projects, putting us in this type of, exposing us, being long-time collectors or first-timers, I mean, exposed to this, kind of drags us into not only the music, but the passion for the music, the passion for the interaction with the physical media, which is very interesting. And in the same 2016 interview from Joe Hardy that I read, he actually said, he was asked, so are people going back into analog? What is analog so special? And said, yes, it is coming, and that was in 2016. Here we are in 22, and I think we are harvesting those fruits. I mean, we are actually getting there. And to me, having all the tone poets on my shelf, it's just like a very, very special moment for me. And I hope that everybody has the chance to get there, because tone poets are just, yeah, the best thing you can get out there. Because Music Matters is not so widely available anymore. So I think tone poets are the closest you can get to Music Matters. Plus, you know, you're just getting the obvious heavy hitters. You're actually learning about catalog and only Blue Note, but different labels that ran in parallel. They had amazing art, and if you really consider yourself to be a jazz fan, a jazz enthusiast, you just don't want to be hearing Blue Train all the time. You just don't want to be hearing Soul Station all the time. You want to be actually hearing more. You want to learn more. You want to know more. You want to hear more. And that's how it's supposed to be. So finally, they're here. I'm very happy. All tone poets now. Sounds silly, sounds obvious, might be, but I love them. I'm really, really, really thrilled that I finally got there. Okay? And hopefully, maybe one day I can do a video, have all the Music Matters now. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, ask questions, anything. We're here to just learn and share information with all of you guys. Thank you very much. Have a good night.